everyone. Our webinar will begin shortly. Well, thank you so much. All right, we are ready to get started. So here's our presentation on online reviews and how you can use them to gain trust. Our chat handles are at RankMyAgent and at RealtyNinja. So my name is Reethi, and we founded RankMyAgent in late 2013, early 2014. And the mission here is to raise the bar in our industry and connect the very best agents to the public. All reviews on RankMyAgent, also called as RMA, are verified transactions, and everything is verified prior going online. We found the major issue in our industry was the lack of trust that people had of what they read online. There were so many sites out there with real estate reviews, but you could never really judge what was actually real, what was really verified, and there was just so much slander online. Coming from a real estate background and also from technology, I really understood that we had a problem here and we needed to fix it. So I would say RankMyAgent is a current list of the very best agents across North America. We are quite strong here in Canada, having agents across the network at about over 4,000 agents right now that are using this platform. I'm going to pass it to Sepy to talk more about his RealtyNinja, Marketing Ninja role here.
Hi, thank you, Reethi, for having me, and it's so great to be here. My name is Sepy Bazazi. I am the Director of Marketing at RealtyNinja, aka the Marketing Ninja. We've been around for about 8 years now, and we've been creating awesome websites using our awesome software platform that basically our support team manages for you. I mean, we've realized that realtors want to be realtors and focus on the real estate business and not also have to be a website manager and a social media person and all this stuff. So we take that website component off of your plate for a really low monthly fee. And so my role at RealtyNinja is basically sales and marketing and doing my best to kind of put some value out there for realtors and connect with realtors. So that's kind of why I'm here on this webinar, to connect with lots of new realtors and kind of share a little bit of expertise and give some value away and hopefully maybe attract some new clients or some interest to RealtyNinja. And I'll pass it on to Mara to introduce herself as well.
Thanks. As you know, or may know if you've attended one of these before, my name is Mara, and I am the social media / account manager / RankMyAgent guru. And my background comes from customer service and sales. I also have a background in graphic design. So that all helps me out with helping you on RankMyAgent. And so I will pass it back to Reethi, and we'll get started with the webinar.
Well, thank you so much, guys. That's wonderful. So just to get started, here is some information about what we will be covering today. How realtors can create trust online and break through the digital barrier, why creating trust is important, how you as realtors can earn more business by building trust and credibility online, how to handle negative reviews, how to systemize a reviews workflow and a strategy, how to respond back to reviews so that you can win more business, and what are the important parts of a website, and SEO and reviews, how this all ties in together. So how can realtors gain trust online? When we look at this, we also look at the question of what is the public looking for in an agent today? And almost everybody, 98%, want someone who is honest and has integrity and is trustworthy. Of course, they want to know about the knowledge and purchase process if they really understand that, and of course if they're responsive. But as you can see, trust, like everyone wants to work with someone who's trustworthy. So that comes in, and I wanted to actually ask Sepy on his thoughts on what are the ways that realtors can create trust online.
Yeah, great question. I mean, I come from a website background, so I'm working with realtors all the time on creating trust through their website. It's such a magical tool, being able to, build a relationship out of thin air through a digital cable that is the internet, or, a Wi-Fi signal. And so that's very possible now through things like showcasing your awards. And your education. If you have any accolades in the field, if you're a top producer, if you've taken courses that are going to help you produce more value for your customers, you want to showcase all these things. Another real obvious one is your sold listings. Sold listings basically show people how, that you can do your job, that you've been doing your job, and to what degree you're doing your job. How many properties have you sold in the last year, in the last 6 months? And does it match up with the type of properties that, that potential visitor is trying to list or sell? And so you're showcasing your sold listings is a great way to showcase credibility in your business and create trust. Another one is your press mentions. So I've noticed, realtors showing up in different places, whether it's guest blogging or if there's a story about them in the paper. I mean, the news in Canada, at least, is always covering real estate agents and real estate stories. So if there's anything like this that, would speak to your credibility as a person in the community, but also as a trusted business person in real estate in your community, then you definitely want to showcase these through your website or through your online presences. I think Mara has a couple more answers to this question.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming from kind of the social media side, what we, sort of like to see, talking about just a consumer myself, we want to see that transparency, not that authenticity. So anything that you can show for your social media channels, etc., to being transparent and authentic and showing into who you are through that really helps you build those relationships online from just one glance. And also, having those reviews, people, they're looking for those reviews online, and they want to read what other people have experienced with you. So kind of using reviews to your advantage can help you out in that process.
That's great, Mara. And, reviews actually are available to be seen on Realtor.ca now. So this is just one integration here with RankMyAgent, and you'll see the profile of an agent, and you'll see the reviews. My understanding is that in the fall, your reviews will also be available with your active listings. So just kind of showing you that these are the trends, and this is how people are going to trust us by, seeing, of course, the press mentions, the sold listings, the awards, and those reviews. Are there certain mediums that work better for trust online? What are your thoughts around that, Sepy?
Sure. Yeah. When it comes to mediums, I think it comes down a lot to the preference of the user and what device they're using. What are they searching for? And so I think this question, when you're asking, are there certain mediums that work better for creating trust online? You also need to ask, who is my audience? That answer is going to be different if your audience is empty nesters versus millennials who are just getting into the market. And so, think about what device your user is using, what platforms your user is on. Maybe if they're an older demographic, Facebook and Yelp and RankMyAgent are where you collect your reviews. But maybe if they're a younger demographic, you collect your reviews in a few different places, always including RankMyAgent, of course. So keep that in mind. It really depends on the preference of the user. I think the more places that you can showcase how awesome you are, the better. And so a tool like RankMyAgent that integrates with Realtor.ca, integrates with your website, integrates with your social media, and shares your reviews all over the place. I think that kind of covers your bases. So, but yeah, great question. Keep that in mind with regards to your actual niche and who you're trying to go after.
Yeah, no, that's certainly is true. And I think that with artificial intelligence entering into this marketplace, it's going to be really interesting what effect voice has. And then, then you'd still need the text-based sort of search results coming up versus video. So it's really going to be interesting over the next 4 or 5 years what happens in our industry and how the technologies are going to change the way that agents are being found. I really think we need a comprehensive strategy involving, of course, both video and text, just to maybe be safe on both sides.
Hey, Reedy, if I can just mention the screen sharing just stopped again.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Let's just try that again and see what's going on here today. So our our PowerPoint, our provider here actually just did an update last night. So we're trying this for the first time in their new update. I apologize. Now, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
I sure can. Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, perfect. All right. Sepy, do you want to get more into stats?
For sure. Yeah. If you don't mind clicking ahead for me, I can cover some of these stats. So a couple important things to note. The number of prospects that are going to reach out, the number of prospects that will reach you before they call that will research an agent before they call is 90%. And so, if you think about when you're going to purchase a pair of shoes or something smaller online than a big property, you're generally doing your research on the reviews to read what other people are saying. So when it comes down to working with a realtor, making the biggest transaction of your life, I'm surprised this number is not 100%, frankly. So keep in mind, 9 out of 10 people who are going to be working with a realtor are probably going to be doing some research about you online. The next stat, 46% of all searches on Google are local searches. And so keep that in mind. That ties in really strongly with your SEO efforts. If you're, positioning your business to a specific community, you want to make sure that community is showcased via keywords and images and videos and everything, content through your website. And that way you're going to reach way more people through Google results or Bing or Yahoo or whatever your market's searching on. It kind of all applies. The next stat is that 92% of people read online reviews compared to 88% in 2014. So this trend is rising. Personally, I mean, think about yourself when you are going to purchase something or work with someone or visit a restaurant that you've never been to. Generally, you might go do just a quick Google and see what that star rating is on Google. Or look them up on Facebook and see what people are saying in their Facebook reviews. So this is something that we're actively doing as a society, and that's not different for realtors. That's absolutely still true.
Mm-hmm. That's so true, Sepy. I mean, even when I travel, I will look at the best airline times to flight based on feedback. Of course, look at the price, look at restaurants. When I'm looking for a doctor, I'll make sure that I check those reviews online before I visit that doctor. So yeah, it's just moving on to every single industry. Now, looking at what search engines love about online reviews, and it's just really one thing. They love that the public loves them and they want to read about them. So when you look at overall ranking factors that help you rank higher, we'll get more into this, but what you'll see is the review signals count for about 10% of the overall ranking factors. What these search engines look at is the review quantity, the velocity, and the diversity of reviews. So you almost always need new, fresh reviews, and you really need to build that into your strategy in order to ensure that those rankings in the search engines are always in their highest positions. Just wanted to show you an example here of a team based out of Calgary that I did a simple search with. What you noticed was that their website came up in the first search and first result. And soon after that, what you saw was the review site. The review site has snippets and has the number of reviews. And this is actually just very powerful information about yourself, because I'm pretty sure that once they go to your site, they will also want to see who you are. And, the Google zero moment of truth there, within 90% of people are doing this. Yeah, certainly this is the trend that you'll see.
So we're going to switch in here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can get business from using the practice of building trust and credibility through reviews themselves. So I'm going to ask Sepy here, how can we do that?
Sure. So, I mean, for me, the first thing I think of is that people want to buy and sell their property or any property with someone that they trust. This is a huge transaction. Oftentimes it's a transaction that only occurs once or twice in their entire lifetime. And so, in terms of getting reviews and showcasing those reviews, letting people know what, other people that have worked with you think about you, this is going to be super, super important. And so I would say, you know, turn these reviews into video testimonials and give people a chance to actually come to your website or your YouTube channel and, you know, look into the eyes of customers of yours obviously through a video, but look into the eyes of these past customers of yours and listen to what they have to say. That genuineness is really going to come across, and there's nothing like word of mouth. And so word of mouth used to be limited to, you know, talking to your friends or people out and about in the real world, but through online, word of mouth is now these reviews and these testimonials, and how creative you get with them is how much you're going to basically yield their power in terms of getting a lead or getting business out of using them. But they definitely should be leveraged, you know, in multiple places online. These are one of the most important factors for you guys converting leads. And so sometimes I see like a testimonials page on a website that is blank, or I Google a realtor and there's no Google reviews, there's no RankMyAgent, there's nothing like that. And so I'm like, man, you guys are missing out on potential for hundreds of thousands of dollars of commission a year. And so, you know, so keep in mind, you know, people want to trust you. They want to transact property with someone that they trust. This is a big deal. And so showing these reviews is really, really important.
That's so true, Sepy. And, you know, I always find that trust and credibility happens when, you know, agents have reviews. But it's also important that the reviews are not cherry picked by an agent. They're not something that the agent selectively decides what they want online. The real power to the reviews is when, you know, they're unbiased, third party, they're unedited, as this is when the trust factor actually starts to grow. I've had agents actually tell me that they're getting a lot of deals out of you know, these reviews because they're unedited and untouched, and that, yeah, that really plays into this.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're creating all trust here in kind of a holistic sense by building these meaningful connections, and people can read and see these. Especially online, and you're breaking down that digital barrier where we can sometimes feel separated from one another. And I think that, you know, using reviews, videos, etc., really builds that together. And so people will really respect that, and you'll gain, you know, those followers and that engagement with people through these sort of medias and reviews themselves as well.
Slides are hidden again, guys.
I know. I'm hoping that you can see the now.
Okay,
yep. Yeah, it's interesting. We're having a little bit of it goes away, then it comes back. Okay, so benefits of collecting reviews. So reviews really connect the online and information together with the offline. So for example, if I had seen some sales signs of a very active agent, I'm most likely to go online and do a little bit of research about who they are. Generally speaking, I would put their first name, last name, and reviews. And based on that, I will piece together and figure out if, yes, you know, from what I see, the activity, does it really, you know, translate into something that I can trust? Reviews really help you highlight your brand stories and give clients an organic feel of who you are. So what happens is when you start to accumulate, you know, 5, 10, 20 reviews, basically what people say resonate together, and then you're able to kind of say, well, this is the brand. So it's also actually a great opportunity to use those stories as to really figuring out, you know, what is your brand all about? What is your team about? Who do you really stand for? And who else to look at but your clients around that. Reviews are optimized for SEO and geofarming. I had shown you that when I showed you those rich snippets, the stars, and just how they help you with geofarming. Reviews on RMA actually allow you to put down the neighborhoods and the cities that you work in, so helping you geofarm that way. They help you also amplify your reach. So your reviews can easily be automatically shared on social media, on websites. They help share team success, and yeah, they're a great client generation source. I've talked to agents this week who actually have told me that there are at least 6 to 12 extra deals that they're getting out of just reviews and people finding them online.
Oh.
Okay.
It's almost like 50%.
Yes. Pretty amazing. So, this is an example of a Facebook ad. Just wanted to thank Andrew Fagalata for this graphic here, but this is an example of how they've taken a picture of, the client that they helped sell the property for, and they have the review. So this is a great idea for you if you're looking to market your services online. And you can even target an area that you had just, closed the deal for. So 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer radius around that, and show it to all the neighbors.
I just want to note in there too, that's an actual client picture. So the more realistic you get to this, don't just throw in, say like a stock photo. Having an actual photo of the client in their new home is great. With connecting with everybody else online as well.
A great point, Mara. Yeah, you want to make it as organic as you can. Here are some examples of Facebook boosted posts where agents have, shared their reviews, and just, you'll see this team is based out of Edmonton, and so they've shared their rankings. I'll give you some examples of listing presentations and how agents have incorporated reviews. So this is part of the listing brochure, and you'll see 3 different reviews that Dave Alfasi from the Vaughan area has highlighted. And it's a great way to get into the presentations and, actually show these. This is from his website. He certainly does promote video and, text-based RankMyAgent reviews there. Now, some ideas about how you can take the online world to offline. There's signage. So we're seeing this trend where agents are asking for more and more of this signage where they can also share those reviews to pedestrians walking by, to neighbors, and so we're seeing a lot of this happening. We're also seeing door signs actually, so that's also been a spring campaign. If you do need any soft copies of your signs to be made, you can reach out to us, and we're happy to do this for you guys, and you can get them printed. Here's some examples of social media. Mara, do you want to talk more about these?
Yeah, absolutely. So the more you get creative with your showcasing your online reviews, really helps you out again with connecting. We do have a few syndications and automations here, like the one you'll see on Facebook and Twitter. These are all automatic through RankMyAgent, so they really take the time out of thinking about it. Now we also have a Instagram post here, so you get emails when you get reviews in with a notification. And so what Scarlett here has done is she's just taken a snapshot of the email and put it on her Instagram, and that was actually the first one I've seen, and it's such a great way to have that little snippet in real time. And you can see she's got that was just the beginning of her likes too. I'm not sure what the likes there are now, but it is a great way to showcase your brand stories as well. And the more creative you get with it, the easier it is for you to garner that trust.
Perfect. And you'll notice that on Twitter, I want to mention that the reviews are actually hashtagged automatically by the cities, by the common real estate, hashtags for that area for you automatically, so that you can increase that exposure for yourself. Here's some example of Google Ads. So you'll see how I just put in the name of the agent, very common to do, and the agents are actually creating Google Ads based on, the search results, and I'll take them to the RankMyAgent with their profile that's very rich with reviews. It's a great way to create trust for yourself.
We just had a little interruption there, I think, in the presentation. We just want to retry doing that.
Okay, just give me 1 second here. Sorry about that, guys. So yes, for some reason it's wanting to turn off every time. Okay, so let's, you should be able to see my screen now. If you can see my screen, if you can please type 4.
I still don't see.
Yeah, neither do I, unfortunately.
Okay, so just give me 1 second. That's interesting. Okay.
The joys of the internet.
I wanted to say something along the lines of, this is live TV for you, but.
Well, can you see my screen now? If you can please type 4.
Oh, there's something. There we go.
You're back. Yeah.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay. My apologies, guys. Yeah, I can't believe the update just happened to happen last night.
Yeah, literally, they just updated Vimeo today. It's too funny.
So we are talking about how to handle negative reviews. And Mara, what are your thoughts? I mean, you are right in the customer support, right into this whole, arena. So what?
I am. Absolutely. So I get this question a lot. And you know what? You just, these things happen. And, take it with a grain of salt. Every, negative or critical review consists of a human who took the time to share their feedback with you. So don't think of this as something that's, necessarily attacking you, but it's an opportunity for you, reach out with a client and they're looking to be heard. They also give you feedback on how to improve for the next time. Again, it gives you a chance to reach out and strengthen your connection with that person simply by just hearing them out and explaining how you intend to learn from the experience. And you can also translate that into a response, which I'll kind of get into a little bit later. But at the core of this, every problem is an opportunity, and it's really just a matter of perspective. So without these challenges, we really have nothing left to solve, and there's therefore nowhere left to grow. So negative reviews shouldn't be looked at as worst case scenarios. Instead, look at them like a chance to create a lifelong customer and advocate of your brand because you're overcoming a challenge.
I love
that. Yeah, absolutely. So even if I think we're getting into another section here, so I'll wait for my response there. For a positive review, you always want to respond to these reviews as well. You're showing, your communication skills there as well, which is always really important for people to see. So respond to everything. Make sure they're getting into that as well.
Can I ask you, Mara, how would realtors avoid negative reviews?
So here's the funny thing. Trying to avoid negative reviews are essentially like trying to avoid bad weather. You just can't. So even if you provide, insanely exceptional service, you can't always be 100%. And you can't always please every type of customer, and that's totally okay. We're human. And it happens. Negative reviews, really take the preemptive approach and ask for that feedback, and for asking that feedback within the process of your transaction as well, kind of can improve and help you mitigate anything along the way. So keeping that communication tight as well. And again, but you can't avoid it altogether. It's a natural part of the business. It's how you handle it is what is the most important. So another little quote here is, why do we fall? So we can get back up. So take it with a grain of salt and use it as an opportunity.
That's great, Mara. And you know what? I really find that people don't expect us to be perfect. No one wants anyone to be perfect. They want you to care. They want you to be genuine. And if you can address those in that negative review, you can make sure that, that frustration, that issue, that you really, felt for that, and how you will change, how you will make sure this is not going to happen in the future. What those plans are to solve the problem. It's just going to help others that are reading this online. Also, these negative reviews actually, once you're able to answer them properly, you're protecting yourself as well. You don't want these reviews to be scattered everywhere, and you want to shut the conversation. You want to be proactive with it, and by addressing it right away, that's the way. So never shut it down.
It looks like our presentation has quit on us again.
Oh my.
Let's take a second here.
Okay.
While we're doing this, I just wanted to add that a few slides ago, you were showing an example of an image that RankMyAgent produced that showed 3 reviews, and the person's review score was 4.95 out of 5. personally, to me, 4.95 feels like a better number than 5, even though 5 is higher. It feels like
Absolutely.
you see 5 and you're like, oh, okay, like that, all his friends or her friends came and rated 5. But when you see 4.95, you're like, this person's awesome, except for they probably pissed off one person, and that's fine with me. And it just makes you feel more and seem more authentic and like real as a human being. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if everybody agrees with me there, but yeah, that's my thought.
I completely agree with you there. Yeah, like I really start doubting if I see too many 5s. So just too good to be true, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? Everybody wants to work with somebody who's relatable to them. You know, nobody wants a perfect robot who has all 5. That's just kind of the reality of the beast. So I think the more human and authentic it is, again, the more relatable you're going to be to, incoming clientele.
Totally.
So now we're going to talk about how to create a reviews workflow. And the biggest thing that you want to do is first investigate and see what are the top platforms for your marketplaces. What you would want to do is put in the industry type. So for example, real estate, and then reviews in your search engines, and then see what types of platforms are coming up. And once you narrow down on those platforms, what you want to do is build profiles for each one of these platforms and start collecting reviews. The team really needs to sit down and create a strategy. And of course, the strategy would have on its pillars that, everyone's, of course, providing outstanding service. And when you do get your listing appointments, do show those past reviews you have. When you get that new listing, let your client know that you want to provide that top service. And if ever that service is not up to their standards, for them to communicate that with you. This will certainly ensure that that ball never gets dropped, and the channels of communication stay open. So weekly check-ins, check in with them. Is everything going as they expect? Could you be doing anything better? And so now, you're in the transaction, you're finally getting to the point where you're firming up the transaction. This is when you need to start communicating the significance of a new review. Let them know how important this is for you and how important these reviews are for your business. So once you firm up, start requesting that review request. You should use the branded requests sent out via review platforms. This actually just helps you track your review request to ensure that a client has actually got that email and just it's more unbiased coming out of that platform.
Sorry to interject. Can we maybe refresh the page? We're not seeing the presentation again. Sorry.
Oh, and it's actually, okay, so let me try to share that again.
Just before we get too far here.
Can you see my screen now?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, just give me 1 second. That's really interesting. Can you see the screen now?
There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Back online.
We'll send you this strategy as well after the webinar. So in case if you didn't see it, you'll have this document as well to refer to. So what you want to do is after you get that review request is you may need to, follow up with drips in case if you haven't. We've seen that agents are quite effective with even sending a quick text to their client asking, hey, did you get my review request? If you don't mind, can you do this for me? And then, send them to their profile area so they can complete it. So once you have that review request, you need to start following up and responding to the feedback. So always, do this publicly. And then definitely, congratulations, you've got your first review. You need to repeat and build this whole process into your systems. So make sure you do this each and every time. So let's talk about the email reminder series. The first request should be sent from branded platforms. So in our example here, we have the RMA dashboard where you can log in and just put the email address of the client and then send out a request. It would look like this. On the right-hand side, where you would have, you can personalize this template as well, but you would have a template and then it would have branded with your details. I have some samples here of buyer request scripts you could use, about the seller request scripts, and these will be emailed to you after this webinar today, so that you have these in case if you want to, use these or tweak these. I would say you should add these to your drips as well. So, these are also reminders. So say if you get to closing and you still haven't got that review, then you can add a script such as this. I'm glad everything's going well for you and you're happy. I know I mentioned how important client reviews are to my business, and if you could take the time to just write me a quick review. Generally, it only takes about 5 minutes for someone to do this for you. So these are just some samples as well. Everything will be sent to you. So definitely talk to your teams to see how you can implement these. Here are some 3 to 4 months later, closing scripts as well that you could use.
Oh, looks like we went down again.
Oh my goodness, okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
It's like, yep, there we go. Perfect.
Okay, so yeah, these are the script requests. So moving forward, let's talk about websites and creating trust. Sepy, do you want to dive more into this, how we can create trust with our websites?
Of course, yeah, thank you very much. Coming from a website background, I figured it would be important to touch on some of the top ways to create trust through your website. Obviously, reviews is one of those, and I'm not really specifically talking about reviews here, because your reviews should definitely be on your website. If they're through RankMyAgent, they can be easily embedded on your website, so that when you update, when RankMyAgent receives a review, it'll automatically be updated on your website. So if you don't have your reviews, your testimonials on your website, absolutely include those. That's going to be number 0. Number 1, which we kind of already touched on a bit earlier, was awards, accolades, and achievements. Anything, and it doesn't have to be real estate awards. Maybe you've won some other awards that kind of give insight into who you are as a person, what your character is like. And so make sure to include stuff like that. We've got a scuba diver who's got his whole brand. He's a RealtyNinja customer, and his whole brand is scuba diving focused. And so it's interesting to me. I've never heard of anything like that, but he's got his own, achievements and awards in scuba diving. And so he's wrapped his whole brand around that. And as far as we know, it's working. So
I love that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, bringing your passion into your websites and showing who you really are.
It really differentiates you in the most unique way, right? So number 2, a bio, and I guess that kind of ties in perfectly with number 2, because it is kind of part of a bio, including photos and videos of yourself. I find a lot of times realtors' bio section of their site, or the about me, is totally blank, and it says it's coming soon or under construction. You want to make sure that that's not the case for you. Your bio is very important. People really want to get to know you. Take the 45 minutes to an hour, write something out, film a quick video, even if it's on your phone, and let people connect with you through that page, whether it's through photos on your web page, embedded video of you introducing yourself, talking about why you're in this business, what kind of customers you work with, why, what people are saying about you, and etc. Just, it takes 30 seconds to film that clip, but it's going to work. So, it's going to 10x your results from your bio page and your website. Number 3, sold listings. Obviously, we talked about this before. Obviously, this showcases that you know how to do your job and that you're doing it to a relatively successful degree. 4, at least one active listing. Constantly being out there trying to collect active listings and make sure that they're shown on your website. So when people arrive and they're looking to see what your listings are, there's always a few to look at. And the listings on your RealtyNinja website can be optimized so that they contain more photos, for instance, or some extra PDFs, or virtual tours or embedded videos or more description or whatever. And so, having those active listings on your site beefed up and looking more exclusive than they do on MLS can really boost your credibility as well. Shows that people that you are actively doing your job. This is what you really do. And you're not actually just a bartender who has their real estate license. Another number 5, integrated social media feed. Let's see how active you are. If you're an Instagrammer, post a feed of your Instagram photos so that every time you add a picture to Instagram, it also updates on your website. Anytime someone arrives on your website, they see a new photo from Instagram. Shows them that you're active online, that you're actually a part of this online community, and not just it's not just an afterthought for you. People love connecting with people who are active on social media, and the age demographic of people who love this is growing all the time, as more and more, like my grandma's on Facebook now and stuff. And so the older demographics, even, they care that you're on social media. They use it as a method for social proof, basically credibility, to see if you're, do you have 50 followers or do you have 500 or 1,000? Do you have a reasonable number? Another one, number 6, resources that highlight your expertise. Now, whether this is a community page or like multiple community pages or some sort of downloadable package, or if you release your own take on the monthly real estate market reports for that month, whatever it is that you do, whether it's through your blog or specific pages on your website, these can highlight your expertise. And when people read, these resources or watch these resources of their videos, they're going to actually get to see your expertise and read it and really feel like you know what you're doing, which you do, and you just need to communicate that. And then 7, have an active blog, a blog like similar to social media. When you go to someone's social media and they haven't posted in 3 months, that's not really a credible active social media user. They're just there for the sake of being there. And the same thing for the blog. If you're going to have a blog, really commit to it and try to have at least one post a week, or at the very least 1 post a month, so that when people look at your categories, it's not skipping from January to May and then May to September and then September to January again. So, there's 1 post for every month. It looks like a nice, properly used blog. So all these kinds of things these are all little micro optimizations, but if you use them all together, this is going to boost your credibility up into I'd say 5% or the top 5% of realtor websites, because really out there in the industry, we'd be surprised to find a realtor who's doing 2 of these or 3 of these, all in tandem. So try to pair them all together on your website, include those reviews component from RankMyAgent, and also collect your reviews, however else you're doing it. But showcase all these things through your website, and you're going to definitely have more success creating trust and converting leads, frankly.
That's wonderful, Sepy. Great points there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give you some examples here of how agents have included reviews and with their listings on their homepage. So here's an example on the right-hand side with a widget. This is like an auto widget that you can add. It's a one-time installation, and then you would have it on your website. Always nice to, come to your website and see, updated dates and so on, like reviewed on something that's current. So people coming in know that you're actually, doing some business and it's all new. So that's important. Just some examples for offices that need widgets as well. So RMA does have office indications. So here's an office profile page. You'll see badges that you can use. You'll have widgets as well, just to show the brokerage's team success. If you're a larger size team, we also have these for you to use. Okay, so let's talk about SEO and online reviews. Sepy, what are your thoughts? Do reviews and testimonials affect the realtor's SEO? And if so, how?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I like to mention right off the bat is that Google reviews are obviously owned by Google. That's a Google Plus profile. It's a business profile. And so I think you showed a stat that over 10%, they give 10% credit to the reviews. But also just to kind of back that up, search engines like Google that own that little review feature, it's looking at that immediately, directly, before anything else, before any other factors. And so it's really putting priority on stuff like that. Also stuff like if you have a YouTube channel, for instance, if you've got videos on YouTube, That's going to help as well for your SEO. Because YouTube is owned by Google. It's a Google product. So all these kinds of things, if you have like a Google Analytics, account, it's all telling Google a story about you. And so these reviews are also part of that story, whether they're on search engines or whether they're on your website, your RankMyAgent account or whatever. The search engines can kind of basically piece it all together, figure out this whole story, and then based on that story about you, they're going to rank you. Depending on what the key terms are, the search terms, they're going to rank you. And so, reviews play a huge role in this, especially as you start accumulating 20, 40, 60 reviews over the years. Some people have 3 or 4 and they're expecting, crazy SEO results, and there's going to be some, but it'll scale up with the number of reviews you collect and the amount of time you dedicate to it.
Mm-hmm. That's great, Sepy. And I feel that if you have a system and it's not so challenging to request that review, initially, many agents say, oh, this is tedious and I don't have time for this. But really, once a system is in place, it's quite seamless and it will help you. So if you just even make yourself a goal that, this month or in the next quarter, I want 15 to 20 reviews, and you can go back to past clients to collect these as well. So, yeah.
And another thing to say is that RankMyAgent is an authoritative domain that's respected by search engines. And so we saw in one of your screenshots that RankMyAgent was like the second result after someone's website result.
Mm-hmm.
So that just provides you with another link too on that search results page, right? So using RankMyAgent, I feel like it benefits you that way as well, because even if your own website doesn't rank, your RankMyAgent website might rank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great touch point for potential customers there. Mara, do you want to talk about our integration with Google Reviews?
Yeah, absolutely. We just launched a brand new integration with Google Reviews. So if you have Google Reviews, we can now display them on your RankMyAgent profile page. And so I'm not sure if we can show that or not, but basically what that looks like, it'll show underneath your RankMyAgent reviews on a profile page.
So just give me a second here. If I head over to maybe RankMyAgent, and should we bring up
so we have, yeah, I was just going to say, Curtis Collins has his brand new.
Oh, yeah, okay. Chris Collins?
Curtis, so
Curtis, yes.
C-R-T-U-S.
All right. Okay, so that's his profile.
That's the profile, and then if we just click, it's loading.
It's loading, or does he have it?
Yeah, he does. Maybe it's just not. It's just click the read reviews. Maybe that's weird. Gotta log out.
Okay. So basically, it's just we've done something with the API. So if you have any of those reviews, up to 5 would show. The reasoning was that if you did have something existing, we just wanted to help you out with getting something on. So here's an example of the reviews.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you need that, just reach out on support, and we'll help you get set up there. Okay, so let's talk about what you can do to optimize your SEO. So certainly, as Sepy mentioned, optimize your websites. Make sure you have all the different details. He had mentioned the 7 touch points, and make sure you have your contact details, your email addresses. Claim your online profiles on social media and websites. If you haven't claimed your Google business page, I think, let me share my screen again. Can you see me?
We just
lost you.
Yeah, I just noticed it again. Sorry about that. Okay, let's, okay. There we go. So you should be able to see my screen now. Can you see my screen?
There we go.
Okay, perfect. So I was talking about claiming your online profiles. So do that for your social media, but also do that for your Google business page. That is really important. Once you have that, you should have a knowledge box such as this that comes up. And you'll see that due to the SEO and so on, you'll see snippets, and you'll even see at times the reviews from the web are also syndicating. So you'll see Facebook, and you have RMA here, just very handy for potential customers that are looking for you. And make sure you do a lot of blogging, create local content. Sepy touched on that. What is the thought there, Sepy? How many times in a month?
For blogging?
Uh-huh.
I'd like to suggest one a week, you know, and if you're doing 4 a month, you're ahead of 99% of all the other realtors in your market. Yeah, so start there. But really what I'd suggest is not the volume, but start with the strategy, because when you start thinking, okay, I got to do 4 blogs a month, it's just like adding a load of work, you know, to your workload. But when you start thinking, okay, what do I want to write about? Okay, maybe I'm going to be like, I'm going to share my favorite hidden gems in town. I'm going to do a 10-week blog series about that. And so then you've got an idea, you've got a strategy, and you've got something that you can write about, and you're not frantically sitting there every week going, I have to write a blog post today. What am I going to write? So,
that's great. Yeah, content calendar is a great idea.
Yes, exactly.
And your thoughts about the length of these blogs? What's the word count like?
It depends. I mean, certain things require long form, whereas other things can just be short form, where you're sharing your opinion on something, for instance. You know, people like listicles. It really comes down to writing for the human. Make the content digestible, tell stories, include images, animated GIFs, embed videos. Because basically what you're trying to do with the first sentence is get people to read the second sentence. And what you're trying to do with the second sentence is get them to read the third until they read to the very end. And so it just make it interesting. If it's long, it needs to be interesting. I wouldn't personally go over like 2,000 words.
Right.
You know, and I wouldn't also probably go any shorter than 300 or 400 words. If that gives you kind of a rough, like 300 to 400 to 2,000 is a pretty good length of article, and it'll do well with your visitors, your actual human readers, as well as with search engine robots.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Okay, so a little summary slide about RMA. Mara, do you want to talk more about this?
Yes, absolutely. So RankMyAgent is, you know, the Canadian leading online third-party platform that connects you guys, real estate professionals and brokers, to the public. Using the power of reviews, we get you recognized, generate leads, and we help you build your online reputation with all the tools that we have. So right now we actually integrate with Realtor.ca, Remax.ca, Homes.com, and our newest one, of course, is Google Reviews. And you can always visit us at RankMyAgent.com. If you have any questions, reach out to us at support@RankMyAgent.com as well. We are always happy to help.
Perfect. And Sepy, do you want to talk about the amazing Realty Ninjas?
Of course, thank you. Yeah, we are one of Canada's leading innovators in the real estate website software and web design industry. We've built this software in mind with realtors specifically, because we know that you guys have so much to focus on as is. You're working almost 7 days a week. You don't need to also be a web designer. And so we offer a free setup service. We will manage your website and manage any of your support requests. You can give us a call or live chat with us through our website, or send us an email. And usually within 24 hours, any of your requests are taken care of. And those support requests are included in your low monthly fee of $79. So over the years, we've been in business for 8 years, and we've learned so much from working with thousands of different kinds of realtors. We're constantly innovating and improving our software just to make sure that it's catering to your needs. We're constantly hearing from our customers about what their needs are, and we're updating. So for instance, we've got CRM integrations coming up very soon, as well as a lot of other things like MLS search widgets that you can drag into your homepage banner, and all kinds of cool stuff. So we recently released a version of our software called Katana on January 9th, and we're constantly developing more tools and widgets for that now, ongoing. So if you're interested and you want to give us a shot, you can start an unlimited free trial period of our website software right here at RealtyNinja.com/website. And if you guys are here on this webinar, or you're customers of RankMyAgent, you can reach out to me directly, and I'll hook you guys up with a 10% off discount.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sepy. So just to summarize today's webinar here, realtors can create trust online and break through the digital barrier with online reviews. As we've shown, trust is so important and critical in today's age, and everyone is reading reviews, so we definitely have to jump on this. Realtors can earn more business by building trust and credibility, and also create a lot of warm leads. What I find with the leads coming from reviews is that they're much, down in the funnel where people are very close to buying or selling when they are reading these reviews. So for that reason, it's easier to convert. Mara talked about how to handle negative reviews. We talked about the reviews workflow. Of course, the fundamental being always provide that amazing service. We also showed you how to respond back to reviews. That whole script package will be sent to you after this webinar that you can implement. And then Sepy got into the great ways to showcase your achievements and how to optimize your websites to build trust. And reviews also, of course, are great for SEO, which turns to more opportunities for you. We will be sending you this ebook after this webinar as well. Online reviews matter more than ever, and you'll see lots of examples here about positives and negatives of reviews and how you can take scripts and add them into your drips as well. So that'll be sent. And thank you so much for joining us. And I'm so sorry for all the technical issues we had today.